Hey guys, this is episode 8 and today I have with me Tasha. Tasha looks after our social media amongst a load of other things within the business. Tasha, you're very, very welcome.
Thank you.
Very much looking forward to this. We're going to kick straight off. How did you come to work at TaylorMade? I know you're with us just over a year. How did you start with us?
How did I start? So before I started with G, I was working in a shop in Bansha.
Yeah.
And I was doing my own photography, kind of freelance and stuff, just a few gigs on the side. And got to the stage, I didn't mind working in the shop. It was great, like meeting people and stuff like that and having a bit of money coming in. But I got to the stage, like I did so many college degrees and I was doing so much work with photography. I was like, I want to do this full time and I want a stable wage in a company. And I was looking, to be honest, I was looking at companies in Dublin and stuff because that's where all the media jobs was. And then I was on Indeed and I saw your advertisement, so I applied for it. Be honest, at the time I didn't think I'd get it because there was a few things on it that I didn't do in a while.
Yeah.
Didn't have experience in because I didn't get a chance to do it. It's hard to get the experience. So I said, look, I'll apply for it anyway. I had the interview with yourself.
I remember it was in Starbucks,
yeah, it was class because I didn't have an interview in ages. And I had to like dress up for the interview, whatever. And then I arrived on and you were there in a t-shirt and shorts. And I said to myself, oh Christ, like I'd not put effort into it, but I was like stressing out because I was like, I'd prefer just to wear a tracksuit now, but you can't do that in the interview. Like, so then I arrived on and you had shorts and t-shirt on. I goes, oh, this is going to be class now. And it was like a conversation, not an interview. It was class like. And to be honest, after I didn't know how I did because the conversation went so natural. Usually in interviews, you kind of have an idea, but it was just like we were chatting. So after that then you rang me, you texted me on my birthday actually, and you said I got the job, which was class because I was actually doing a job at the time at a conference doing photography.
Yeah.
And I took a little break and I got a text off you on WhatsApp and it was my birthday. I was working on my birthday. And
nice
I said,
birthday
oh my
present.
God, I was so happy, so happy. And yeah, that's how I started. So.
Was that October last year?
Yeah, October. I started in November, but you told me October.
Yeah,
October
so I think you're just over 12
months.
months, so you're kind of 13-ish months with us.
Yeah.
Brilliant. That's a good background, and it's like not too long ago. So what we're going to get through here is a couple of different sections. I'm going to delve into you, personal background, how you grew up, and I know you can come across as quite shy, I think, but I think you're not really.
Awkward, anxious.
And you kind of, you maybe as much like as usual, so we're going to get it out of you today.
Yeah.
So who was Tasha growing up? Where did you grow up? Like what was your early childhood like, early school? Start from wherever you like.
So
were you like a good kid in school? Were you a bowl pup? Like what?
So I was a brat in school. And
You were a brat?
Yeah, I was a brat. I was just school. Yes, primary school is a very difficult time. But
And did you go to school in Tiptown?
in Tiptown,
Okay.
yeah. But I grew up in Tiptown, and I wasn't bold, but I just had no time for school.
Okay.
So I wouldn't do my homework. I didn't do my homework for the whole 6 years.
Really?
Yeah, and my poor father, they called my father in nearly every day trying to get me to do my homework, and I just refused to do my homework.
That's where the stubbornness comes from, Paul.
Yeah, no, but it's awful because, like, I remember the teachers, like, oh, Tasha, you have to do your homework. And I used to argue with them, like, I'm in school to do school, and then I'm at home to do other things. And they hated it. So, in the classroom, I just wanted to be outside. My favourite thing was PE and just being outside for lunch and art class. Anything else I had no interest in.
Okay.
I just absolutely hate school.
Okay.
I just want to be outside running around. That was my thing, so.
And then did that continue on into primary or into secondary school, or how were you from there?
No, I kind of like, I would say I was really kind of wild growing up in primary school and stuff. I did a lot of things, and when I was like 14 and stuff, I was drinking. And I know it's bad, you shouldn't drink at 14, but I was out drinking and doing stuff you shouldn't do. And then when I got to secondary school, I kind of calmed down.
Okay.
So I kind of went into myself in secondary school.
Bit of maturity.
Yeah, maturity, and kind of like, I realised I didn't want to do them things or go down that road. I saw other people I hung out at that time, and I didn't want to go down that road, so I said, okay, I need to come back a little bit. So I kind of went into kind of like a hermit mode in secondary school at the start, and then I made some new friends, and everything just changed from there.
Okay.
So I still didn't do my homework though. So I've never done my homework my whole life. Like, so.
Okay. So when you were in school then, did you have any idea what you wanted to do as a career after school? Did you, I'm just interested to how you got from school to where you are now. Did you kind of fall into it, or was it like, I'm actually going to, like you knew what you wanted, or no?
No, at the start I wasn't really sure. I wasn't really sure. I was always like creative, so I love photography and stuff. I had a camera when I was like 14, and I used to go around making videos outside with my friends and stuff,
Okay.
and like produce videos. Like, and make a little movie on CDs and give them around to everyone.
Class.
And I always had an interest in capturing things
Okay.
for memories. So
Yeah.
I loved capturing things and looking back at them and being able to watch something and like experience something again. So I loved that side of it. So I was always interested in that, but I didn't know if I was going to do it as a career. It's more so I just loved doing it, so I did it. When I got into secondary school, I was just kind of tipping away. It wasn't until I was in TY we had time to like step back and think about things, and I was kind of like, I had a career guidance counsellor in TY actually, and she was a great help. So I was talking to her, and she's like, what do you like to do? And I goes, I love photography, I love video, I love creativity. And she goes, you know, you can go to college. Because no one actually in my family went to college at the time. So I was kind of like, okay, how am I going to afford to go to college? Should I go to college? Will college suit me? Like, I don't like doing my homework. Will I like college? Do you know, it was that kind of mindset, like. And so she kind of talked me into it, and I applied for a few courses. Then I kind of realised, okay, I want to do something in the creative field. But I was still a bit unsure because I applied to be a nurse as well.
Okay.
So it was either go be a nurse or do creative stuff. So I applied for 2 of them. And then I was thinking about it more, and I was like, I want the creative thing more. I don't want to be a nurse.
Okay.
I was saying long term. I was trying to think of it long term. I said it'd be a fulfilling career, but I didn't see myself doing it for my whole life.
Okay.
Where I saw creative, okay, I can branch off to other things and I can change things up. So I got the course anyway. And
Where did you go?
I went to LIT, but it was in Clonmel.
Okay.
So it's part of LIT and it's in Clonmel. And I've got the course then, and I went on and I kind of found my way. It was actually coding and all computer science and stuff,
Okay.
but then they had creativity in it as well. But then it was in like the second year I kind of went down the creativity road, because I could do the coding and all, but it frustrated me. I wasn't passionate about it, so it was like, I don't want to do this career because I don't enjoy it. If I don't enjoy it, it's not going to be fulfilling. So I kind of went down that way. But yeah, I figured that out later on in secondary school. I figured out kind of what I wanted to do.
Okay, class.
And it just kind of rolled down from there. Like.
Do you know what I'm interested in with people is like the growth moments that happen to kind of get you to where you are. And I've had loads of them in my life, and you mentioned one of them there around kind of when you pulled yourself together in secondary school.
Yeah.
When you kind of stopped or changed your behaviours. Is there any other kind of growth moments of like throughout your life that have kind of stood out to you that you're like, and then it just causes you to go a slightly different direction? Is there anything that stands out to you?
Think about that now for a second. Well, one of them would have been that, like, well, I get deeper into that, like, after primary school and stuff, I hung around with a few people and they were kind of getting into bad things. And I didn't feel like I wanted to do them things that didn't resonate with me.
So that was like a big moment there.
This is not good, like, they're doing things that I don't want to do. And I'm not judging anyone, like, people are experimenting to do different things and drugs and stuff like that. But I was kind of like, I don't want to go down that road. So, and everyone around me, like at the time, I didn't really see anyone doing what I wanted to do. So I didn't know how I could get there. I didn't even know what it was.
Interesting.
So that was a big growth moment for me, and that's why I kind of isolated away. I was kind of like, I need to figure out who I am and what I want and what do I believe in and what my morals are. So that was a life-changing
That can be
moment
quite hard,
for me.
because I think the people you spend time with have a huge influence on the direction of your life.
They do, definitely.
And I've 3 kids now as well, so I'm quite conscious of who they hang around with as they grow up, and I'll probably have some little input, not totally controlling, but I will
you have to,
I will curate it.
Yeah.
But like, I think being able to stand on your own 2 feet as well, especially as a teenager, can be quite difficult for people to do.
It can, and I didn't mind. Like, I could see myself as like kind of like an extrovert / introvert. Like, I like to be alone, I like to isolate myself, but I like going out when I'm around the right people. I love being social and I love talking and laughing, you know. But another growth moment, let me think. I was in college, and I think it was the first year, and I was going to drop out because I actually had nowhere to live. It was hard to get down on the buses and stuff, and I didn't drive at the time. And the times of the classes and things like that, and I was going to drop out of college. And I remember my sister said at the time, she's like, oh, you can stay with me, but she lived like about 15k outside the town, so I had to cycle in every morning.
No way.
And cycle back every evening. But I made the decision, I had a chat with my lecturer, I made the decision, okay, I'm not going to leave. Because it was getting tough, the coding and stuff, and I was like, I'm not really passionate about this, and they were like, look, there's more to come next year and the year after. And I was going to leave, and a big growth moment for me was like, okay, maybe give it another go, maybe do stuff you haven't done before, like all the cycling. And I wasn't fit at the time. I was extremely unfit. I had a bit of weight, so it was really hard. It was really hard
Fair
to do.
play. So you cycled in and out for how long?
Oh, a good few months. I eventually got my own place then.
Okay.
I was staying with my sister. Like,
Well
she was
done.
bringing the kids to school and stuff like that. She couldn't drop me off different times and things like that. Like, so I cycled in and out for a few months.
I actually
back
love
in
those
Clonmel,
stories because I find that people who have a bit of hardship
Yeah.
generally are better because of it. They're usually a bit tougher and stuff.
Yeah.
And I would say that you're actually quite tough under it all. So that's actually class to hear. A bit of grit and just get it done.
Yeah, there's plenty more, like, oh, I don't know. There's plenty more growth moments.
Cool. Anything else you want to touch on?
No, not at the moment.
I think they're good.
Yeah.
Right. They're class. Okay, that gives a good insight as to like background, growing up, what type of person you were. We're going to move forward to today.
Okay.
Obviously, your day-to-day role is with us. For people that don't know, what do you do in TaylorMade day-to-day?
Day-to-day, I cry. I miss it. Oh, I love it. So day-to-day, like, I do a lot, like, so the social media side of things, I kind of, I reach out to people on DMs and stuff, interact with people, our members and maybe our future members, and just keeping the social media channels going. And then I create content, so basically keeping our social media going and just trying to create valuable content for our members and for other people. Creating videos, coming up with like ideas that might educate members, that might educate other personal trainers, just doing that kind of thing. I take photos and stuff for the company. I help out, like just putting the photos up on the website and stuff like that. Create graphics and things for like the TV, like anything digitally related. I kind of have a say in the company, and I kind of edit it and talk to yourselves, and we kind of work together.
Yep.
So I work with the coaches, like getting videos with them and stuff. They love to see me coming. I think I'm their favourite person. They love getting videos. So yeah, I go get like videos and stuff with them. Yeah, basically, I don't know, like, there's a lot to it, like.
Yeah.
It's basically like you're on all the time because you're on social media. It's hard to switch off.
Yeah.
So.
Would you say the role has changed from when you started in October, November 2023 to now? Or would you say it's still fairly the same, or how has it developed from your perspective? Because like, I would have my view on how it has gone, but just from your side, like, is it the same? Has it changed? How do you feel about it?
How do I feel? It's definitely changed from when I started. I think when I started, it was a slow process. You were kind of introducing me to everything slowly, which I appreciated. At the start, I was kind of just going around getting a few videos, putting them up on Instagram. There was no real structure to it. We were both kind of finding our way, and I'd never been in a job position like this before, so I didn't have anything to base it off. I didn't have the experience, so like, this is my experience kind of working with a big company. So at the start, it was all over the place. Videos were going up. There was no thumbnails. There was no like thought into the design or the look of the feed too much. And now it's all about like everything looking coherent. There's a plan. Why are we doing this? Does it look nice beside this? Is it going to link up with this? And there's like 3 months plan. Like there's 3 months plans, and there's way more to be doing now, if that makes sense. Like,
Yep.
It's totally adapted. Like, I'm doing way more, I'm responsible for way more, and I'm able to do way more as well than I was able to do back then.
Yeah.
Like back then I felt like it was a lot, and now I'm doing way more, and I feel like, okay, I can do a bit more now, I
Yeah.
can do a bit more.
Yeah. I think just on that, from my perspective, you were the first person we had really full-time in this social media creative space. So I think I've kind of dropped stuff on you sequentially over time.
Yeah, definitely.
As your capacity has been able to do that stuff, and I'll continue to do that until we maybe need to hire a second person or whatever. What attracted you to the role with TaylorMade? So obviously I put out a job advert. I interviewed a couple of people. There was maybe 4 or 5, I think. I can't really remember. But even if like I rang you in to say you got the role or whatever, I text you, you didn't need to take the role. So what was it that you were like, no, I definitely want that role?
There was a few factors really for that, and first, before I even applied for the role, I decided what I wanted. So I was like, okay, I want to work in a creative job, doing photography, doing video, with a company that has good morals, good characteristics, that are down to earth, that care about people and care about what they do and care about like growth. I knew that, and I wrote all that down, and I said, okay, and that's it, getting that job, whatever that job is. So then when I applied, and I actually got a few job offers actually that same week with different jobs. And I remember it was because I had the interview with you, and the whole process of it was just amazing. And I could tell straight away from talking to you, the vibe, the energy, what the job would involve, and the massive growth that was to come in the future. You had a big growth mindset, and you were a visionary, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And I love to be around people like that, because they're always on to the next thing, so you're never going to be stagnant, or things are never going to go stale. So my gut at the time, I was like, I remember coming away from the interview, like, that's the job for me, that's the job I wanted, so hope to God I get it, like. And that's kind of why I chose it, because I knew it was going to align with me. And whether I got it or not, I was delighted that I did the interview, but I knew that job was for me, so I couldn't imagine anyone else having it.
Class.
But I was glad I got it, like.
This is a good question that's not on this. Has your expectations from them lived up to the expectations or no?
Yeah,
of the role?
They preceded it, I guess, because like at the time I was kind of like, I'll be doing this and doing that, and I'll be all chill, like. But like, I've been challenged so much. I've been challenged so much, and I love being challenged. But you're in the middle of being challenged. You don't love it. That's just human condition.
So like,
but when it's uncomfortable, but that's where you grow. So I've been challenged so much, I feel like I'm not a different person. Like I have a strong sense of identity, I've always have. I know who I am, but I've grown so much in the last year because of this job. And it's added to my character, and it's added to my skill set, and I'm learning so much. Like I do react. Sometimes I can react without thinking, and this job has kind of taught me to like take things in, take them on the chin and think about them, and what is the lesson in this, or what's the best way to communicate this, or to listen even, and what is this person actually trying to say, and not react as much. I've learned that a lot this year.
I would say I've seen that in you, and I wouldn't have said you were very, very reactive, but now you're much more, it's actually easy for me to deliver feedback to you now. Which is actually makes my job easier, because you'll actually take it the way it's intended. Which is good. No, thanks for that. What's your favourite part of working for our brand? And I know you might have mentioned it, but what's your favourite part of working for Tailormade or our brand?
Okay, let me think about that now. I'll let it in.
Or even your favourite part of your work day to day.
Damn, it's a tough one, because I love so much of it. Honestly, love so much of it. Do you know what? I love working with the coaches and the members. I love working with people. So I love recording them, whether it be doing testimonials with them. I genuinely love hearing their stories, because I genuinely hear how it's impacted their life. And someone else might look at it and go, it's just a video for their page, or someone's talking about their experience as a member. But some of the stories are they're fantastic, and they're little things, but they're massive things to people, like health-wise, family-wise, mental health-wise, fitness has done for them. And being able to like capture that story for them and visually tell it and share it to other people and influence them is fantastic. And even work with the coaches doing the creative content and stuff. They're just so funny, their own unique personalities and how they kind of give it a go. And they're all so like motivated and have growth mindset, and being around them people and being able to like show them online and show them off as well. I love being able to help people tell their stories. So that would be my goal.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Your own training and fitness, I'm going to touch on that. So you mentioned when you were in college, you were cycling up and down, you weren't that fit. When did you, and obviously you're not a coach, right? But when did you get into fitness, and how has that changed since you started working with us to now?
So when did I get into fitness? So growing up, like I was always active, because I had to move. Like I was almost like, I'd go nuts if I wasn't moving. So I was doing every sport possible. Like I was doing football, Gaelic football, karate. I was doing basketball. I was doing hockey indoors. I was doing kickboxing. I was just doing it all growing up, because I had to keep going. So fitness was a big part of my life then. Then as I got into secondary school, the start of secondary school, I kind of pulled away from it a little bit. Like in first year, I did a bit of Gaelic football for like the first 2 years, and I played a few matches and stuff. And then I was like, I just kind of pulled away from it in third year. I had a bit of a kind of like a slump or whatever. And going into college, I kind of had a growth moment. You're on about growth earlier, and I had a growth moment going into college. It was kind of like a totally new situation for me, because no one in my family actually went to college. Like my sister did, but she wasn't living at home at the time, so no one in my immediate family we grew up with went to college, so it was kind of like a new experience. And I went there and I met all these people, and I felt a bit kind of lost. I found it hard, like mentally, say I was struggling to change my identity. So I felt like this is who I was in the past and this is who I want to become. So fitness was my outlet. So I lived in the gym all of college. I had a bit of weight, and I won't say I had a lot of weight, like people say, Natasha didn't have a bit of weight, but for my size and stuff, I had a bit of weight. I think I was about 10.5 stone.
Okay.
And for me, that's overweight for my size and stuff.
Yeah, because you're quite small.
Go, what's she on about? Like, yeah. So I had a bit of weight, and I went and I just lived in the gym. And then I met this guy in college. We were like best friends. We're still good friends to this day. And he was on a journey as well of mindset, health and fitness, and we just became best friends. So he actually was training me in the gym because he knew he's a bodybuilder or whatever, so he knew all about that. And he was training me, so it kind of started in college for me. It was kind of like an outlet to keep your head right and to grow. And then when I came here and I got this job, I kind of lost my way after college with fitness. I'd go to the gym now and again, but there was no routine. I was just kind of going now and again. I'll go for a weekend session, or I'll do it if someone else is doing it. There was no routine. I lost my way of fitness. And then I came here and it's never been the same. I had Dylan Mackey's gone now to London for a new job, but you assigned him to me for 6 weeks because I was telling you my struggles, because that's another great thing about the company. You're asking us what you want help with personally. And I thought that was fantastic. And I said,
because you're a type 1 diabetic.
Yeah, I'm type 1 diabetic, and my sugars weren't the best. My brother recently lost his eyesight to diabetes because it wasn't managed, so it was kind of hitting home, and I was like, I need to do something, and I need to control my life and not let diabetes control it. So I felt like that's the way it was going, and I felt really down about it. I had no energy. My sugars were so good, and then they're spiking, and then they're bad. And I was chatting to you, and you said that you assigned Dylan Mack to me
as a coach for 6 weeks.
6 weeks, and he kept me accountable. Like, I see myself as a really motivated person, but for some reason I had a block when it came to my own health and fitness. Everything else I was motivated, but when it came to that, I was like putting a block there. I was like, I didn't want to face it or something. I was like trying to just pretend it's not there. And he helped me, and he took it in steps, he took it in stages. He helped me with nutrition, watched my sugars and stuff like that, and how food was affecting things. He did it in such a gradual and compassionate and comfortable way, and he got me to train here in your gyms, doing your sessions and stuff. It was just life-changing.
Yes.
Like, I find now, like, I'm kind of getting into it. My diet's never been better, my sugars have never been better, my energy has never been better.
So the blood sugar levels are under control now because of the education?
Yeah, they're under control because of the education and the work put in. No, but it's been fantastic.
Brilliant. That's really really good.
Yeah, so to answer your question, really, this job has really helped with my health and fitness, and I'm delighted, I'm grateful.
Brilliant. I love it. We'll move on to the team and the workplace dynamic. Could you describe the support and development opportunities at TaylorMade now, and maybe even just compare it to any previous jobs that you've had, just from your perspective?
From my perspective, I think it's great. Like, if you want to grow...
She's not paid to say that, by the way.
I'm not paid to say this. Maybe I'll get a bonus but, for Christmas. But if you want to grow or become like a better person or be challenged in the area of health or fitness, this is the place to be, because I've worked in other jobs, like you said, like I worked in the shops and stuff, and nothing against them, I loved it. I'm a very grateful person and kind of grateful for whatever I'm doing. Now, I worked in a shop, I learned a lot there as well, and I was talking to a lot of people and stuff, but it just stops. Like, you work and you can't go any higher. And when I came here, there's like so much opportunity. Since I started a year ago till now, I've more responsibility, my skills have got better. I'm currently doing the social media course with yourselves, like constantly learning, becoming a better person. There's other courses I could do, and there's just more opportunities. You're opening more gyms, there's going to be more content to do, there's going to be more work to do. I just don't see it ending. It's like it's always going up, and there's always a chance to get better and do better.
Brilliant.
It's not stagnant, it's not
My
boring.
next question was going to be, what are you most excited about with TaylorMade? But I think you've kind of answered that. But is there anything else that kind of excites you just about the future?
I'm excited about the growth, and I'm excited about the person I'm going to become because of it. So
class.
And the whole company culture, just being around all of you is great. Like, everyone has their own unique kind of vibe, but everyone's on the same growth train. Like, they're all on it, they're ready to go. Like, so.
Love it. What I have next is a couple of personal questions. Like, kind of a quick fire round, right?
Okay.
What's one thing about you that most people don't know?
It's going to be a funny one. You're going to judge me. So I read tarot cards since I was like 14. So how many years is that? Like
right, okay. And what does that do?
I don't know. It's just so, like, I won't say that I'm psychic or anything. I'm not that, but I just do it because I've done it. I've always done it because it interests me. But
And does some of the stuff come true?
nearly everything that
Really?
any reading I've ever done for someone, they always come back to me and beg me to do more, and I don't. I have this weird relationship with it. I feel like I don't want to influence anyone's life.
Okay.
So I just did it for a few people. I do now and again, like I'll do it for my close family and
For a bit of
friends
crack.
and other people if they ask me. But I don't charge anyone or anything like that. Like I don't believe in that. Like, so I just do it because I enjoy it.
Cool.
So that's something someone doesn't know.
Interesting.
That many people don't know about me. Like, yeah.
What do you love to do when you're not working? Any other hobbies outside of work that
No,
we haven't touched on?
I just work all the time. Hobbies outside of work. Oh yes, I do a bit of like aerial hoop and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's very exciting. So that'd be my biggest hobby at the moment. Like I'm looking to get some new hobbies. Actually, I'm not really doing anything at the moment. Just gym.
Gym work.
Yeah.
You're like Gav.
That's it. I know, but like I feel like I need a new fresh hobby. So I'm on the lookout.
2025 might be.
Yeah.
Cool. Who has been the biggest influence on you and your career to date, or just like you as an individual, you in a career, whatever your interpretation of that is? Who has been your biggest influence in your life to date?
Oh, that's a tough one now. I say my father, like.
Class.
I say my daddy's girl, but like he's genuinely like, he's motivated me so much throughout my life. Like he'd always challenge me to do more. Like,
Fair
and
play.
he'd never say you can't do something, but he'd be very realistic. So if I say I have this idea, I want to do this, he'd go, okay, what's the plan? Like, how are you going to do it? Are you sure you want to do it? Like, get started. And it'd be kind of like, he'd always taught me like to, no matter where you are in life or who you're around or what your situation is, you treat people with respect, like, and no matter what, like, no matter how they treat you, that's what you do, and you just keep going. And if you really want to do something, you can do it. And if you're not happy doing something, don't do it. Life's too short.
Class.
So I never was stuck in an unhappy situation for too long, because even a job or anything, he was like, "What's the point?
Brilliant.
Life's too short. Just leave, do something else. Like your life's for a living."
So
like,
big influence on you.
Big influence, yeah.
Brilliant.
Big influence.
Couple more. Biggest thing you've learned personally since joining the TaylorMade team 13 months ago?
Think about that now, because I want to give a good answer now.
I have a good few of these. You have to think about these ones.
Yeah, you do, because I want to give you a good answer. I could just rant on, and it's like, and I can cut it into that looks immediate.
So if you could think about like the biggest standout thing that you've learned, what would it be?
Damn, that's a tough one. I guess adding on to the learning of it, like communication, I guess is a big. I knew that was a big deal, but like even so more so.
And what is it about communication that you learned?
A lot of things can get lost in translation, and myself, I'm so guilty of like assuming things and getting better at that. I'm an overthinker, so overthinkers think of every possible outcome, and because of that they might assume things, and they let things build up, and without talking directly or actually asking questions directly to people, it could be totally imaginary, and it just messes things up. So that would be a big learning for me. It's like, okay, you can overthink and assume all you want, but just ask questions and actually find out for yourself. Like, get the evidence. Like, see, is this actually in your head? Like, or are you just overthinking, overanalyzing it? So I've learned not to overanalyze so much. I'll still overanalyze, but I won't let it to the point where I don't like communicate about it. So yeah, it would be my biggest learning, I guess.
Love it. I think that's a good one. What is one thing our audience, or people that are not on the inside of TaylorMade, so that are not on the TaylorMade team, what is one thing our audience would be surprised about the kind of working behind the scenes at TaylorMade? Like, so if they're looking in, they can only see what they can see, but what would they be surprised about if they actually started working here? Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think they'd be surprised about how well everyone actually gets on, and how big of a team it is. It's almost like a family. I think you see that on social media and you might think, oh, that's just for social media, for the crack, like to have good videos out, but everyone gets on so well. Everyone has a laugh, everyone's nice to each other, everyone wants to get involved in like social things, and everyone wants everyone else to grow. It's such a team spirit, and if you've played any team sports or anything like that, it's like the exact same vibe. Everyone wants to help each other out, and it's amazing. I don't think people from the outside will see that until they're actually in here and experience it themselves.
Class, I love it.
Yeah.
I've one or two more, and then we can close up.
Okay.
What is your biggest life achievement to date?
Oh, this.
There's only one or two more hard ones, and then we're good.
I mean, like, just to think about it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
biggest life achievement to date?
What is my biggest life achievement to date, like? I guess, like, God, there's so many, like, and I'm not saying it in a bad way. Like, I've done so much that I wanted to do. I set out so many big goals and I've achieved them, and I was so proud of them. I guess I finished college. I did my 3-year degree, and I was delighted. Then I went on to do an honours, the 4-year. Then I went on and I did my masters, and I did my masters during halfway through COVID, while I was working full time and doing photography on the side, and I aced it. Like, I got A's in all my projects. So my biggest achievement would be like achieving all that in college. And I remember, I'll go back to primary school for a second, like the teachers didn't really get on with me, and they always used to say to me that I wouldn't go far and I wouldn't do anything, and that I couldn't write and stuff like this. There was a bit of a mess back in primary school. And to have that happen when I was younger, and then...
And get your masters.
Not even prove them wrong, but prove to myself, you can do it your own way and still do it. Because I wasn't doing it their way, they thought I couldn't do it. And I think that was my biggest achievement, so.
Boom.
Yeah, definitely. The
Love
education,
that.
yeah.
Fair play. Last one, or might throw in a few more, but I think
Yeah,
last
throw
one,
in a few more if you
and
want.
then we'll see where we go. If you were to pick, there's 18 people on the TailorMade team.
Oh.
Do you know this question?
Yeah, it's a hard one.
If you were to pick somebody amongst the 18 people that work with TailorMade that you admire, who would it be, and why is it that you admire that person?
Damn, that's so hard. Well, disclaimer, everyone in this company is class. And I admire them all. I guess I admire you, Fiona, and I'm not just saying that like 'cause you're my
Brown
boss
envelope.
or whatever, but like, no, honestly, and I will say that now because when I first started, like, you introduced me to the role so slowly. Like, I had a lot of like I said there, I had my education, my college degrees, I did a lot of photography and gigs of my own. I had a lot of experience that way, and I had my master's done. But I didn't have experience working in the field as much, and you gave me that chance, and you kind of nurtured me through. And I've made a good few mistakes, and I'll probably make many more, but like, you're always there kind of trying to help me grow and become a better person, and you have the patience, and you want to see me do well, and you want the business to do well, and you want me to grow with the business. And I admire you for that, and not just me, it's everyone in the team. You're watching everyone, and you kind of want everyone to grow and become a better person, and give them the chance to do so. So you'll give them the opportunity. If something's going wrong, you're like, here, this is going wrong, I'm going to help you here with this, but can you fix this? Can you rise to this challenge? And you give people that opportunity to show what they're capable of and stuff. And that's it.
Thanks,
I guess.
Tasha.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting that.
Get my bonus now.
One other question. I've done this a couple of times on the TailorMade Talks. If there was a question, how will I phrase this? If you had the opportunity to ask me a question about anything that you haven't yet asked, is there a burning question there that I could answer?
Damn, I'll think about that. No. This time next year, where do you see this company? Like, I'm
13th
not
of
talking
December.
5 years now. I'm saying this time next year.
In terms of?
In terms of facilities, in terms of staff, in terms of maybe like we went on a few conferences and stuff abroad and stuff like that, any more of that kind of thing, or are we gonna like, where do you see yourselves this time next year, in a year's time?
It's funny because Paul's behind the camera, and we actually just had a conversation about this in Paul's monthly one-to-one. It's crystal clear in my mind. We're going to have 8 gyms. We currently have 5, so we're going to open up 3 more next year.
Yeah.
We're going to add probably about 8 new coaches to the team on top of what we already have. We're probably going to add 2 more HQ staff in some capacity, whether that's to help Paul out a little bit with his role, maybe help Gavin out with his role, possibly in addition to the marketing side of the business. We'll see.
Class.
So we're going to probably add 8 coaches and another 2 HQ staff, so 10 more staff, 3 more additional gyms, and then there's some other verticals that we're going to add outside of gyms. I'm not going to say them just yet, but there's other stuff that will be launched this year. We're probably going to increase our member base from about 560 members currently to over 1,000. So we're probably going to be up around 1,100 members this time next year. Revenue should pretty much double.
Class.
So yeah, that's where we're going to be.
I have one more question.
Yeah.
Are you still answering?
No, go on.
Sorry. And where do you see me in a year's time, grow-wise, and do you think? Great
question, and I love that, and I think I have an idea where I'd like to see you.
Yeah, you can never tell.
I think that is going to be dependent on you, and I think with TaylorMade, and Paul is behind the camera, he can attest to this, because the pace of growth is quite intense. It requires people to grow at that rate in order to continue to grow or to continue to move up.
Yeah.
So I would like for you to continue to develop your skill set. I would like you to add layers in terms of, right now you're looking after social media, but really what I would need and what the business would need would be somebody with a broader lens when it comes to marketing. So thinking about, if I lay down a 12-month plan, how can you help us achieve that plan from a marketing point of view? And marketing is more than just social media. It's email campaigns. It's, when it comes to brand and how we look and present, it's probably a little bit of merch. It's probably a little bit of event management. So as your work and capacity improves and increases, we can add other layers to that.
Class.
So I would love to see you continue to progress and look after more areas of the business, even if that means we have to hire a team underneath you to take some of the roles. But that's how I would see that moving.
Yeah.
But that is entirely down to you, how you can handle the stress of it, how can you can handle the workload of it, how you can get more efficient with your work. So rather than working more hours, how do I actually get the same amount of work done in less time?
Yeah.
That's actually the answer, because working more hours only gets you so far. If you can do the same amount of work in less time, I can give you other stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that's where I would like you to grow, and we will give you the opportunity to do that.
Class.
But a lot of that is down to you.
Yeah, it's down to me. That's exciting, yeah.
To answer that?
Yeah.
Cool. I think we're going to wrap it up there. I really enjoyed this talk because I think you're quite a private person on the surface, and I enjoyed the 40 minutes of getting to know you on a deeper level. So I want to say thanks very much. Thanks for being open and honest. It's probably the most open I've seen you being in the 12 months I've known you.
Yeah, I didn't get too deep into it there, but
no,
look, I did
but
my
anyway,
best. Thanks
it was
for
an absolute
that.
pleasure.
Appreciate it.